Have you ever wondered who Cain's wife was and the forgotten daughters of Adam and Eve? This question has puzzled theology, scholars, and believers for generations. How could Cain have found a wife if only his parents and his brother there? Is the Bible hiding something? Or we simply missed the deeper clubs? What you're about to hear may change the way you see the earliest chapters of Scripture. Before we dive into the intriguing mystery surrounding Cain's wife and the forgotten daughters of Adam and Eve, let's take a moment to reflecting on the profound implications of this ancient enigma. This question has perplexed theologians, scholars, and believers for countless generations, challenging our understanding of the early chapters of human history as depicted in the Bible. By delving into the depths of this mystery, we are not only uncovering hidden truths, but also unraveling the intricate tapestry of relationships and events that shape the course of humanity. So, are you prepared to embark on a journey that will reshare your perspective on biblical narratives? Comment 7 and 77 if you're ready to unveil the veiled secrets. Remember to engage with us until the very end as we navigate through the corridors of time to shed light on these enigmatic figures. In the beginning, before time had woven its intricate tapestry of existence, there was garden. Not merely a physical space, but realm where the divine and the earthly intertwined in harmonious unity. Within this sacred enclosure, God meticulously sculpted the first man, Adam, from the very dust of the ground. Each particle of soil bore the imprint of his divine craftsmanship, each breath infused with purpose and destiny. Yet it was not until God's breath intertwined with Adam's form that life surged through his being. Imagine that moment, that stillness shattered by the rhythm of creation as Adam's chest rose and fell with the essence of existence itself. It was more than mere animation. It was a symphony of spirit, identity, and eternal significance. From that divine exhale emerged not just a living being, but a steward of creation, custodian entrusted with the care and cultivation of Eden's splendor. As Adam opened his eyes to behold the wonders around him, he beheld not just a garden, but a kingdom, the realm where heaven stooped to kiss the earth in an eternal embrace. In the tranquil embrace of Eden, Adam and Eve flourished as stewards of creation, their days woven with the golden threads of divine communion. The garden whispered ancient melodies of harmony, each rustle of leaves a symphony of peace. As dawn painted the sky in hues of heavenly artistry, Adam beheld the splendor of a world untainted by the sorrows that would later mar its beauty. Together they tended to the flora that adorned Eden's expanse, their hands caressing petals that bloomed in reverence to their care. In this paradisiacal haven, time danced to the rhythm of eternity, each moment pregnant with the promise of everlasting joy. The laughter of Adam and Eve echoed through groves where serpents had yet to hiss their deceitful whispers. It was a time when innocence reigned supreme and love's embrace knew its bounds. The days turned into years within the confines of Eden. The sons of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, grew under the watchful gaze of their parents. Each dawn brought with it the promise of a new beginning, fresh canvas upon which their destinies will be painted. Cain, drawn to the earth's fertile embrace, cultivated the soil with hands that bore the calluses of hard work. His brow glistened with sweat as he toiled under the sun's benevolent gaze, coaxing life from the ground with each furrow he plowed. In contrast, Abel's days were spent in communion with his flock, his voice mingling with the bleating of sheep as thieves roamed verdant pastures. The bond between shepherd and sheep was one forged in trust and mutual dependence, the dance of care and provision that mirrored the divine relationship between Creator and creation. When the time came to offer sacrifices to God, Cain praised the fruits of his labor, bounty harvested from fields that bore witness to his dedication. Meanwhile, Abel brought forth his finest lambs, creatures whence fleece shimmered like spun gold in the light of dawn. Both offerings symbolized more than mere sustenance, then were reflections of their hearts, posture towards their Creator, testament to their understanding of sacrifice and devotion. The warning echoed in Cain's ears like a distant thunder, solemn reminder of the darkness that lurked at the edges of his soul. Sin, that insatiable beast, prowled at the threshold of his being, its hunger gnawing at the fingers of his conscience. Despite God's cautionary words, Cain found himself drawn to the allure of jealousy and resentment. The fertile soil he once tended with care now bore the bitter fruit of envy, poisoning his thoughts and clouding his judgment. Abel's offerings found favor in God's sight. Seed of bitterness took root in Cain's heart, its tendrils winding around his emotions with suffocating intensity. The shadows lengthened around him as herded over perceived injustices, his hands clenched in silent rage. When the moment of decision arrived, and sin beckoned with its seductive whispers, Cain yielded to its call. In a fateful act that reverberated through the annals of time, brother turned against brother in a blaze of unbridled fury. The earth itself recoiled at the first spilling of human blood. The question reverberated through the garden, its echoes carrying the weight of Cain's transgression. God's voice, tinged with sorrow and authority, pierced the silence as he confronted Cain with a query that laid bare the depths of his crime. "Where is your brother?" The words hung in the air like a heavy shroud, demanding an account for the blood that stained the earth. Cain, his gaze averted, felt the weight of guilt press upon his soul like an unbearable burden. In that moment of reckoning, his defiance crumbled before the omniscient gaze of the Almighty. "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" His retort, laced with bitterness and denial, betrayed a heart hardened by sin and foreign from compassion. The Creator's questions was not merely an inquiry about Abel's whereabouts, but the revelation of Cain's moral degree darkness, the descent that would shape his destiny and haunt his lineage for generations to come. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Cain stood at the crossroads of his fate. The weight of his actions bore down on him like a mountain. Each breath a struggle under the burden of guilt. In the fading light, he saw a figure approach, the silhouette against the dying embeds of day. Fear gripped his heart as he recognized the mark of protection on his own brow, a brand that him apart in a world teeming with unseen dangers. Who were these others that God shielded him from? Whispers in the wind spoke of ancient beings, forgotten by time but ever watchful. The land of Nod beckoned with its mysteries and perils, promising both refuge and reckoning. With each step into the unknown, Cain felt the weight of his solitude upon him. Wanderer in a world that held both promise and peril in its uncharted expanses. In the twilight of Adam's life, the shadows of time lengthened over the horizon of Hist. He beheld a lineage unfolding before him, tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, trump and tragedy. Each passing year etched lines of wisdom upon his brow, testament to the weight of centuries borne upon his shoulders. As Seth, his appointed successor, took his place among the generations. Adam's heart swelled with a mixture of pride and melancholy. The days stretched into years, and Adam witnessed the ebb and flow of life mirrored in the faces of his descendants. From Seth to Enosh, from Enosh to Enoch, each name a chapter in the epic saga of humanity's journey through time. The legacy of Eden's dawn mingled with the shadows of sin's descent, creating a tapestry as intricate and vibrant as life itself. Through laughter and tears, through trials and triumphs, Adam stood as sentinel at the crossroads of past and future, living bridge between innocence, lost, and redemption sought. In the fading light of a world on the brink of transformation, a divine decree echoed the corridors of time, resonating with both warning and promise. My spirit shall not always strive with man, for he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. These words, uttered by the Creator himself, carried within them the weight of impending change, the shift in the very fabric of human existence. The days of longevity waned and mortality loomed on the horizon. The sense of urgency pervaded the hearts of men. The once unbroken line of patriarchs, those lives spanned centuries, like chapters in an eternal saga, now faced a new reality. Finite span marked by time boundaries. The implications of this divine pronouncement rippled through generations, shaping destinies and challenging perceptions of mortality and purpose. What did it mean to live in a world where time and the long stretched endlessly before them? How will humanity adapt to this new paradigm of brevity and fragility? These questions lingered in the air like an unspoken truth, beckoning souls to contemplate their mortality and seek meaning beyond the confines of temporal existence. The sunsets painted the sky in hues of amethyst and gold, casting long shadows over the ancient landscape. The sense of profound unity lingered in the air. From the dust of Eden's soil to the crimson stain of fratricide, each chapter in humanity's saga bore witness to a divine tapestry woven with threads of grace and judgment. The echoes of Adam's first breath, intertwined with God's exhale, reverberated through time. The symphony of creation and fall, echoing across generations. In the fading light of man was defined by longevity and legacy, questions lingered like unspoken riddles, waiting to be unraveled. What lessons can we glean from the patriarchs who walked with God for centuries? How lives speak to our transient existence in a world shaped by sin and redemption? As we stand at the threshold between past and future, may we heed the whispers of eternity carried on the winds of change. Let us embrace the wisdom of ages past as we navigate the complexities of our present reality. Remember, it is not merely in knowing every detail, but in seeking God that clean understanding is found. Reflect on these mysteries. Let them spark a flame of curiosity within your soul. And may the timeless truths embedded in these ancient narratives illuminate your path toward deeper spiritual insights. If this story inspired you, gave you something to think about, or sparked curiosity, don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe for more biblical mysteries and spiritual insight. The Bible is a gift. Know everything, but to know Him. From you believe the information gifted by the Book of Jubilees? Who think Cain's wife really was? Leave your thoughts in the comments.